Action! This t-shirt has a stain on it, and it was already there when I got it because I got it from Goodwill Bins. Let me close this window. Hello guys, it is Dustin, and I've officially moved in to my new apartment. This is my bathroom. It is very beautiful. It has this vintage looking tile, and I wanted to chat with you guys and do a year in review because it's been an official year living in LA and also dropping out of college. It's been like 2-ish years, I believe. And I kind of wanted to reflect and share my experience and just random things on my mind like future plans, life updates, because I haven't done a chatty video in a minute. I'm gonna multitask and also do my skincare routine and show you guys my current skincare routine. I've had this headband for years. This is honestly a staple on my channel. I should make merch. I should make headband merch that looks like this, but like a little bit different so I don't get sued. So for some background information, for those of you who are new, I dropped out of college after 1 semester. That was 2 years ago, and last summer I moved to LA. There were a couple reasons why I decided to leave school, and I have an entire video talking about it. If you want to know more about my reasons for dropping out of school, I'll leave in the description if you want to go watch that. This is how guys wash their face. Baby, there's a shark in the water. It took me a while to like remember. There's something underneath my bed. Oh, please believe I said. Damn, that song's good. As for my reasons for moving out of my hometown, I'll keep it brief. I just felt like I outgrew my hometown. I grew up in a little white suburb outside of Sacramento. And if y'all know anything about Sacramento, first of all, y'all probably don't know where the hell Sacramento is. Honestly, I think Sacramento was completely irrelevant until Lady Bird came out, and now it's like kind of cool. I just needed a change, and I needed new experiences, and I wanted to meet new people. So all that combined and a few other more personal reasons, I just decided I needed to leave, because you are a product of your environment, and if you want to grow, you have to leave your environment, have new experiences, meet new people, because you are already the product of where you're at, and if you stay in the same place, you're just gonna stay the same. At least that's my ideology. Let's talk about my first year in LA. Let's reflect on the year. I honestly thought this year would be more life-changing for me and more exciting and more jam-packed. It actually really wasn't. It was actually pretty chill. I can't really complain because it's not like I had the worst time ever. It was a pretty fun year, but there were also negatives. But let's talk about the positives real quick. I did meet many new people, had many new experiences. I think I just didn't meet as many new people and have as many new experiences as I thought. I moved here without knowing basically anybody. Like, I don't have any family here. I don't already have any close friends here. I pretty much came here a blank canvas. I did know people kind of through social media, and that's kind of how I made my friends here. But I came here knowing nobody. Some highlights that I wrote down. I went to Joshua Tree for the first time with a few friends, and that was actually my first ever kind of trip with my new LA friends. I hosted a few parties because in my last apartment I had a roommate. Our apartment was like abnormally big, so we definitely became like the host house. We hosted Thanksgiving, we hosted a Christmas party. I hosted whenever like a group of friends just wanted to hang out, and I learned from all that I love to host, which honestly is pretty predictable. Like, I feel like that's very in my character. I dyed my hair orange. That feels like it happened a lifetime ago. That was an era. I looked good. I came out. Like, come on. I went on a few dates. Ooh. Millie.
You may say I'm a dreamer.
Not many, but I did go on a few. Were they that good? No. But I did go on them, and I feel like that's always cool to go on dates and like learn more about what you want in dating. Even though I have decided to take a hiatus because I noticed I would go on dates with people that I just was not that into, but I was kind of in a mindset where I would give anyone a chance. You never know, like their personality could shine through, and I just didn't want to be vain. So I always went hoping maybe their personality would be really good. But you know what I realized? Ugly people are boring too. So might as well go on dates with hot people so you have something pretty to look at. That's what I learned from this past year, that everybody is fucking boring. And I kind of felt like I was wasting my time a little bit. And as soon as I felt that, that's when I was like, we're not doing this anymore. Dustin, 2022. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2023. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2024. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2025. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2026. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2027. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2028. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2029. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2030. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2031. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2032. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2033. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2034. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2035. Ugly people are boring too, so might as well date hot people. 2036. Ugly people are bo Yep. I took hip-hop classes because I really enjoy dancing. I took dance and was a part of the dance community in high school, and it's a hobby I thoroughly enjoy because I can't capitalize off of it even if I wanted to. I always feel this pressure to have to capitalize off anything I do, anything creative, any passion I have. But with dance, I can record myself, but other than that, it's not like I can sell anything with dancing. Also, I'm not at the level of professional dancers, so it's not like I can get hired for jobs or anything. It's just a hobby, which I feel like is so important to have, just a hobby that you like to do for fun. I haven't gone in a while though, it's been a few months, so I definitely want to go back. And lastly, I went to so many concerts. All of them solo too. Like there was a point where I was going to a concert every single week for a month straight. I just took advantage. I live in LA now, everyone always comes to LA, so might as well go to all their shows. Growing up, I didn't get to go to concerts. My first concert was freshman year of high school. I went to a Troye Sivan concert. Junior year, I went to a Shawn Mendes, Alessia Cara concert. But other than that, I couldn't go to concerts because people rarely came to Sacramento. Every time I found out a small artist was having a concert, I would just buy their ticket right away because they're really cheap. They're like 20 bucks, might as well go. I can't even like name all the artists because I went to so many. I kind of impulsively bought tickets most of the time, the day of or the night before. Here's a confession. The reason why I went to so many concerts this past year and hip-hop classes is because this past year I spent most of it alone. Again, like I said, I don't have many close friends or any family here. That's why a large chunk of my time was spent doing those things. I had nothing else better to do. I had to fill my time somehow, and those were things that I could do alone very easily, so I did them. I don't really want to say I felt lonely this past year, but I did feel really alone. That's a con about not going to college. You miss out on the social aspect. And that's probably the one thing on why I would want to go to college, for that community. College, that's like the place to socialize and make friends. If you're not making friends in college, honestly, you're not gonna make friends in the adult world. It's like 10 times harder because in school, you're all in the same vicinity and everyone has the same goal to want to socialize and make friends and make memories. I go to colleges sometimes to go to like the libraries and cafes just to work and edit, and every time I go I always feel so comforted being around people my age again. But since I don't go to school and I'm like in the adult world already, I'm kind of early in that stage compared to everybody else. A lot of the people I encounter, a lot of my friends, they're much older than me. You know, it's not that big of a deal because I feel like once you're in your 20s, it starts to all merge together. Like everyone in their 20s just kind of feels very relatable and similar in age. But I still crave friendships with people who are my age. Everyone else is at least like 3 years older than me. That is like a pretty good chunk, and everyone's so mature and they have like real jobs. I'm still in a stage where I want to be immature. I want to just like do fun, stupid things that I feel like these literal adults in my life would not want to do. Sometimes I want to call my friend up late at night and be like, do you want to drive around and just hang out at the park? None of my friends would want to do that because they gotta get up to work early in the morning. I feel like I had to grow up really fast, and it's, I don't know. I have a very complicated relationship with growing up in youth. I am kind of envious of college students' social lives. The good thing though is I recently have been making friends my age that go to college. I'm kind of like vicariously living through them. So I kind of am getting that social aspect a little bit again. Making friends as an adult is so difficult, and I feel like nobody talks about that. When you're an adult and you're just like living your everyday life, you don't really have any communities. That's why I think you really have to make an effort to like join a club, join a class, and like talk to people, or like get a job and be friends with your coworkers. I feel like if you don't do any of those things, you won't make friends. I tried really hard this past year to make friends, and obviously I have, but none of them are really close friendships, which is what I was kind of aiming towards. And I kind of wanted a friend group, which who doesn't want a friend group? But then again, I've never even had a solid friend group in the past, so what made me think I would be able to make one now? Also, little quick side note, I experienced the post-grad college depression early, even though I didn't actually like graduate college, but you know that feeling? I got that at the age of 19. Well, most people get it at the age of like 21, 22 or more. But anyways, you don't get a grace period once you're out of school. Especially since I moved out, I kind of went in head first. Okay, I'm pretty much done with my skincare after this. Curology. Chapstick, of course. I also have eczema, so gotta put on cream every few nights or else it will flare up. And that was my skincare routine. I'm gonna end off this video with my future plans and goals. I've been pondering the idea of moving back home. And I know what you're thinking. Why the hell would you do that, Dustin? You were just talking about how you wanted to move out because you outgrew your hometown. And yes, all that is correct, but what I've realized after living a year in LA is that I do not think it is where I'm supposed to be. I don't think it's my home. I kind of moved here just because I didn't know where else I should go. I'm not very well traveled, so I don't know places that I would like to live in. Even in California, I'm born and raised here, but I have not traveled a lot of California. I only know like San Francisco, Bay Area, San Jose, and then LA. When deciding to move, I kind of just had to pick a location. I knew I wanted to stay in California just so I can, you know, be in the same state as my family, my friends, and also it's kind of all I know. Even though I am more familiar with the Bay Area just because I grew up closer to it and a lot of my family lives there, it would have been very nice. I decided to move to LA. It just seemed like the place where I would have the most opportunity for friends and to build a life, and also I've always kind of had a childhood dream to live here. I kind of moved here to fulfill my childhood dream, but now that I've done it, I just don't think it's for me. I thought I would be a city person, but I guess I'm just not. Maybe because I have been sheltered my entire life in a chill suburb. It's what I'm used to, it's what I find comfortable. My ideal place to live, it doesn't have to be a suburb, it can be a city, just a chill place that has nature. I crave nature so much, especially growing up in a suburb where everything is just concrete. I mean, we had a few fields, we had a little bit of nature, but like I want to walk outside and see the forest with young people and activities to do. I live a pretty simple life. All I really do is I go to the gym, I go to cute cafes, I like going to the flea market on the weekends and going thrifting. Every now and then just do something new, a fun activity. And that's all I really look for and want in the place I live. It doesn't have to be this extravagant place like LA, which has so much. Like I thought I needed more, but I realized in my everyday life, like I don't do that much. These simple little things that I feel like most places have, that's all I need. Specifically with the people though, I want to be able to make friends. That's why I probably wouldn't go into a super small dead town. I wouldn't be able to have a social life there, and that's really important to me. Back to why I've been thinking about going home. The main reason is because I want to travel and I want to sublease and just live in a bunch of random different cities and just experience new environments. The plan I envision in my head is I can live in New York for a month, and then I really want to experience New England fall, and I would love to live in like New England for a month and just to see more of the world and kind of get an idea of where I would like to settle down. And by moving home, this would give me more opportunity to travel and sublease because one, I have a place to leave all my stuff and have kind of like a home base, but I can still leave whenever I want and travel whenever I want. Also, I'd be saving on rent. I'd much rather be spending my money on traveling than the rent I am paying right now, which is way too goddamn much. One day in the future, I do want to buy a home. I should be saving my money right now, even though I know I'm young, but you should be thinking about your finances when you're young because that is the time to be thinking smart about your finances and investing in things. And apparently we're falling into a recession, which I don't really know what that means, but it doesn't sound good. I just gotta be a bit more money conscious. Obviously, there's also a lot of cons that I have to think about. You already know I made a pros and cons list. Another main one that I want to mention is I want to watch my little sister grow up. If you do not know, I have a little sister. Her name's Destiny. She's been in a few of my videos. She is going into middle school right now, and I feel like these next few years are very vital because they're the last years where she's really gonna be a kid, and I just really want to be around before she enters high school, before she like matures too much and is a grown woman, because that's gonna be so weird. And even moving away, when I first moved out, I felt that sibling guilt so much. I just felt really bad for leaving my sister, but I feel like that's also a sacrifice you have to make. You have to be selfish sometimes. There's also cons that I wanted to mention. If I do move back, I'm kind of regressing and going back to square one. I do not want to go back to how things were before. I don't want to feel like all my progress and all my growth is just gone because I decided to move back. But also at the same time, that growth and what I experienced cannot disappear. So if I do go back, I still have all that growth and experience still. So it's kind of just a thing I have to loop my mind around. Just because I moved back home doesn't mean I failed, and doesn't mean I will no longer grow. Obviously, I'd be losing a lot of my freedom and I'd have more responsibility if I live back home. That's just natural when you go back to your parents' house. Also, naturally living back home, it can become toxic if there's no boundaries and communication. I also wrote down I'd be meeting meeting less new people, but obviously if I travel, I'd be meeting new people, but the months I do stay at home, I won't be meeting too many new people. I also wrote down there's less opportunities in life. Career-wise, you won't bump into random people. There's less of a chance of meeting cool new people to become friends with. Like, there's just less opportunity in life living back in my hometown just because it's smaller. But also at the same time, this past year, I thought moving here, I would get so many new opportunities. In reality, I didn't really get that many new opportunities that is worth the money I'm paying to live here. I could do my work literally anywhere. Nothing from this past year has been like, wow, I'm glad I moved here for a work opportunity. I went to like one event, 2 events maybe. That's not worth paying the thousands of dollars to live here every year just for the chance of an opportunity. I also think you can get so many opportunities through the internet. I've gotten a lot of comments saying how I look so much happier now in LA, and it's kind of true. Like, I'm just much happier because I do have like so much freedom and I can do whatever I want whenever I want, which is very nice. But I don't know if I'm happy. I don't think I'm genuinely happy. I just don't think I've experienced what I expected myself to experience, and I don't have enough people around me. I decided I'm gonna give LA another 6-ish months to a year. Your first year living in a new place, it's gonna take some time for you to settle in. So I didn't want to move out just right after a year because I feel like I'm cutting it off right when it starts to get good. Seeing maybe now that I've like settled in, I know a few more people, if life will get good and I'll become more happy. I don't want to be like one of those white influencers that move to LA and hate on it right away. Like, I want to give it a chance. After that period, if I still don't feel good living here, I'm gonna brainstorm the idea of moving back home and leaving LA if I feel like it's a good choice for me. We never know. The future is unpredictable. Unless you're Raven Baxter.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, that is all. I'm gonna go to bed now because it is 1 a.m. Good night. Are we singing the outro song right now? Yeah? Okay. Was it something I said? Oh, fuck.